Hi, this is Mike O'Brien, Senior Editor of Multi-Channel Merchant. The issues that happened in the 2013 holiday shopping season are well documented, with a lot of disappointed consumers who got parcels late, an estimated 2 million of them, because of a whole confluence of issues, including the network capacity of the major carriers, some very extreme weather events.
Yep.
And so since then, both carriers have been spending hundreds of millions of dollars to improve their network capacity and increase their temporary seasonal hiring to make sure that this doesn't happen again, as well as keeping an open line of conversation with their major shippers. I'm talking today with Satish Jindal, who's the president of ShipMatrix, which is a shipping tracking software company who is going to talk about some results that he came up with based on analysis of their customers shipping millions of parcels on the on-time performance of UPS and FedEx and USPS. Hi, Satish. How are you today?
Hello, Mike. Doing great.
Okay, so talk about the results that you've just gotten today, the most recent results, what the performance that you found was, and why those numbers have shifted from the same time last year.
Well, you know, the carriers last year, as you mentioned, Michael, had got a lot of black eye, a lot of bad publicity from missing service on the Christmas Eve, and there were so many factors. People know about it. There was weather. There was a much larger volume than they had anticipated. There are temporary workers that they threw at the last minute on it who weren't properly trained. So all that. And the thing that people may not realize is that providing an on-time service of 95, 96, 97 even in that business requires a very orchestrated and a fine-tuned machine to make it happen. So they're dealing with 20, 30 million packages a day with thousands of people touching them. So what they did this year is that they brought those people on earlier and provided them a lot of training. They have enhanced the technology that they use to handle the delivery process, because when you think that there's a driver who's out with a helper delivering 400 or 500 packages in a day, every minute that he wastes can affect on-time service for a customer. So they also get a lot of new addresses at this time of the year. So they put technology in place to make sure they get to that address in the most efficient way. The results are showing that this year they are achieving a 96, 97% on-time delivery compared to low 90s of 90, 91, 92 that they had last year at this time of the year. And the true test is going to come next week when you are going to be in the 2-3 days before Christmas.
And another factor, I'm guessing, would be the fact that the retailers continue to kind of push the envelope as far as the cutoff days for promising that items are going to arrive by Christmas. You know, some coming up to a couple days before, and that's something that the carriers obviously would like to see them dial back. And so, talk about how you think that might impact the results this year.
Yeah, the carriers have done a few things from last year's lesson that they learned is they have engaged with the retailers much earlier in the year. They are on a regular dialogue with them to see what changes they're seeing in their volumes. And as that spikes are coming, they are getting advance notice for it. And they have also put in this some stopgap measures that if they ship at a higher volume than what they have forecasted, then there's some penalty on that they may lose part of the discount they had, as a way to create more discipline among the shippers to provide a better estimate. And then the other thing that they can count on, up till now at least, has helped them, is the weather has been kind. And that's something that came about last year in the last few days, hard to predict, but based upon the forecast, we are not anticipating a polar vortex type situation next week. So they should have help from Mother Nature also.
And also, in the latest report you came up with, and I know you did one earlier for Thanksgiving weekend and Cyber Week, but you included the USPS and their final mile services that they provide for UPS and FedEx, as well as DHL and Amazon. And talk about how they've been doing. It seems like they've been doing particularly well, with the exception, I guess, of this past Monday, correct?
Yes. Well, on Mondays in general, what we found is that their service tends to be a little lower, and I think that is partly because they don't operate on a Sunday, but people are continuing to ship and drop it off for the post office. So it does create a very huge spike on a Monday, and Tuesday usually is a slower day, so they get a chance to get caught up. And I think people should feel very comfortable that post office, which basically does last mile delivery, does not encounter all the weather challenges in getting it to that post office. So for them, delivering 98, 99 is the norm, and I am very confident that post office will continue to achieve those numbers every day between now and Christmas.
Okay, and are you going to come out with any kind of report during, like, the shorter week next week leading right up to the holiday, or is there something else we can expect from between now and the holiday from ShipMatrix?
Yeah, our plan is next week to provide a similar on-time performance reports for all of them for this week that people are getting deliveries, and then for next week on Wednesday we'll try and give you some idea about how well they did on Monday and Tuesday, so you can see what exactly the carriers have done. And based upon everything we've seen, as long as the weather doesn't turn at the last minute, they can expect 95, 96%. And one of the things I caution people here is that the consumers and the retailers need to do a little better job of making sure they provide the correct address, a complete detail, including the apartment number, and look for the package in front of the main door. Because too many people go in and out of their garage and they are calling to say my package is not here when it actually is sitting outside the main entrance.
Okay, great. So it seems like a lot of the things that the major carriers have been doing, have put in place, these pretty serious investments are paying off now, and not only during this rush period, but obviously going forward into the new year. So far so good, and hopefully, if the weather cooperates, then they should be in pretty good shape, and everyone will be happy, come Christmas Day.
That's what they would all love to do, is just make it a Merry Christmas for all the consumers, so that their employees can also feel good about it.
Okay, terrific. So Satish, I appreciate you taking your time and giving us all your insights and the benefit of all your data analysis at ShipMatrix. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.